Reba here. Welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. So today I did some weed eating and I went ahead and I moved some of my container pots around yet again. Now, this section of the yard I just kind of cleaned up a little bit, got the recycling out. I picked up all of the sticks that were in this little corner right here, and I moved them and I put them all into this little bloom tote wheelbarrow. And the reason I'm not really using this wheelbarrow as much anymore because it is it's starting to get a little bit brittle from the sun and it's starting to get a little bit damaged. So I figured it was perfect for storing all the twigs and stuff from all my cuttings that I take from my trees when I'm pruning and that sort of thing. So I've got it full of a bunch of sticks that have come from my garden area and a lot of the curly willows that I had recycled. And then I got a little bin right here where I toss in like different things that I'm going to turn into like fertilizer. So I've got some leaves in here from my comfrey plants and some banana peels, and I'll put some water in that and I'll let that sit and create a nice tea, and then I can water my plants with it. It's a nice fertilizer. And then I had picked up this table for free because somebody was tossing it out, and I was planning on fixing this table up and selling it. However, I think I'm still gonna paint it and fix it up. That way it's kind of sealed and protected from the weather just a little bit. However, I really am loving it for a garden table because look at here. I can actually put my bucket under the edge on this side, and then when I have dirt I can just swoop it into here. And I was using this yesterday for potting up and repotting and doing things with my plants, you guys, and I loved it. So I think I'm going to keep this table as a potting table. I just need to fix a couple little things down here because the screw came out and I need to re-screw it and put it back together and use a little bit of wood glue, and it should be all right. It's not the most sturdy table, so it's not something I would really want to have in my house, but it's really old and it had some water damage because it's Washington State and somebody had left it out. So like there's a little bit of separation here and that sort of thing. So I am using this now. So I'm working on garlic, and I picked up some things and I'm organizing and that sort of thing. So this whole section will get completely cleaned up, and then we'll just have the trash can over here and the recycle bin, and everything else will pretty much get put away. Like all the equipment here, the skateboard will stay, but the tote will go away and the seeds over here will go away. But today was just kind of a cleanup day and weed eating and reorganizing the container pots. With weed eating, a little tip I want to share with you guys is these little doodads that you get for your weed eaters. My particular one is the Works right here is what I primarily use. I'm going to be selling this one. It's a Black & Decker, but I love my Works. This thing is amazing, and it comes with these little spools that you can get at a lot of stores. I think I've even seen them at Walmart, but you just thread this little part right here. There's a little hole right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little hole there, and you just put the twine into that, and then you wrap it in the direction the arrows tell you to wrap it, you guys. And then you use these two little sections to secure it. Once you've got it wrapped fully, you just secure it, toss it into your garden supplies for when you need a new spool. So you can just buy the cord and then wrap it onto these. They sell them as disposable, but you can reuse these. So that's my tip. And that's what I do. And so I think I have maybe 5 of these because I tossed one out already. And then I was like, I'm going to actually reuse those because that'll save us money. And it's awesome. That's what I do. So I need to fill that one up. Now, I did organize all of this, and I've got a couple pots back here that are smaller. I've got my bronze fennel here that's gone to seed, and I let it go to seed every single year. And so it I just think it's a beautiful, like, ferny type plant. I'm probably going to be planting it into a bigger container pot, because this one is a little bit too small for it. And that way it has a little bit more soil and it'll do better. And I think I might be planting it into one of these gray pots, and I'll tell you that in a moment. So anyways, I've moved my, my blueberries over here. I've got one up here and then one right here. And then I've got my honeysuckle right here in this corner, right here. And then that's my blushing maiden, that I just picked up at Rain Tree. And we got some new growth right there. Those are the tea leaves. And that's, what you would pick, those brand new little baby tea leaves that look kind of a reddish green color. Those are the ones that you pick when you want to make green tea. And so, and then there's a whole processes that I'm going to be learning how to do all that. So I've got my little blushing maiden here, and this one will have pink flowers on it. So I can't wait. Hopefully I got the right one, you guys, because sometimes things even get mislabeled even at, really nice, places like Rain Tree as well. Sometimes people get the wrong item and it's not what it says it is. So you just have to have grace, you guys, and forgiveness. And generally speaking, Rain Tree is really good about helping their customers if something like that does occur. So, and right here is my Russian olive trees. I put them right here. I thought that would be a cool contrast. So I've got that one right here, and then my other blueberry here. So I've got my Patriot and my Spartan over here. Don't know which one's which, but I'll know by fall because the Spartan will get big old red leaves. All right, coming over here. I moved all of my herb pots all along the front here because I had to move them because the pumpkin over here is getting way too large and it's taking up a lot of the space, and I just didn't want the vines attaching themselves to these pots, because then it just makes it hard to water and it makes it hard to mow and weed eat and that sort of thing. So I just kind of, I just decided to go ahead and move them. My berry bushes are doing really, really good as well, you guys. This one that I was questioning whether it was a black raspberry, it actually turned out that this is actually a thimbleberry, and this one is a red thimbleberry, and you can tell that they're thimbleberries now, I know, but you can tell because they have the little star shapes right there, and this one's pinkish red color. So I don't know if the black caps have the star shape to them, but now I know. This one is a red variety, and it tastes almost exactly like the Cascade Delight and the Tulamine and this question mark here that actually looks a lot like my Tulamine. So, and tastes a lot like my Tulamine. So I've got about 4 varieties of red raspberries, and I'm golden on red raspberries now, you guys. So I don't think I need any more of those. I do want to hit the gold and the double gold again if this one ends up not being the double gold. And again, I don't think I'm going to get any fruit production on this year because these grew from the roots. But the double gold generally will have a spring and a fall crop. So like this time of year, I would be getting ripe berries. So like summertime crop and then like a late fall crop. But here in my region, unless I have this in a greenhouse, the fruit won't ripen all the way. And I had fruit ripening in November because we had a little bit warmer season 2 years ago. So I don't think we'll be getting any fruit on this year. But all of my herbs are doing good and they're growing very well, and all of my berry bushes are looking really good. I did move the Baker Creek white blackberry into the greenhouse. I'm thinking maybe the warmth of the greenhouse might help it grow quicker. So I'm just experimenting with that, at which case it'll come back out here to the garden and it'll go into its spot right here later on. So, and then I'll probably end up moving this away from it because I do have some powdery mildew on this, and none of my other berries have the powdery mildew on them at all. And I don't want this variety to affect the other ones because I don't know what's going on with this container right here. So I'm just kind of keeping a wary eye on it because my marionberries don't have any issues, my boysenberry doesn't have any issues, and my loganberries don't have an issue. So everything's looking good. But kind of show you guys how it looks over here. It just kind of makes it look really pretty right up in here. And I'm still organizing. I'm always organizing, I think. Does anybody else feel like that? Do you always feel like you're organized or cleaning up or doing something like that? I just feel like I'm always in the process of doing it. So I put my little watering can right there because I thought it would look really cute, and move it from this other section because I thought, you know, my kids keep knocking the little pour spout off. So I decided to move it over here. Maybe it's my dog doing it. I don't know. But it's looking really good. I have these in the center right here for now. It's one of those things with having the new dog over there, and the curtain likes to come up along over here. The curtain likes to come up, and I can't really have my pots over there because 1, they'll get dirt all over them. 2, the curtain flaps up in the wind and I don't want it knocking my containers over. So we'll just figure out something with these. For now, I just have them here and it works really well. And so they're just short pots, so it's not like something the wind's gonna really like knock over like fully. So I think they're fine, and I can move them around if I need to. That's the greatest thing, you guys, about container gardening and practicing these homesteading skills now while I'm renting. And don't let you renting and being in an apartment, or you know, like what I'm doing where I'm renting a house, don't let that keep you guys from practicing homesteading skills. I started growing small amounts, mind you, when I lived in apartments with a tiny balcony, and sometimes I didn't have a balcony. So but I started small, and I started practicing with just a couple things like herbs, you know what I'm saying? So don't let where you are right now, don't have like everybody, we all have these excuses why we don't do things. Don't live your life with that kind of mindset. Break out of that mindset and say, I'll do what I can where I'm at. And so I've got all of these. What do you want, Ryan? Hi. We're not opening the other bag till tomorrow. Okay? Tomorrow. All right. His hair is getting so curly. Oh my goodness. Hi, sweetie. Oh, thank you for the kiss. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, he's buttering me up. He wants something. He wants chips. Poke. Alrighty. Okay. So, I'm going to get back to my video. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay?
It's getting close.
Yes. Okay. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, baby? Good boy. All right. So, for those of you who have been to my channel, I do have children with special needs, and so I'm not going to make it an apology at all for the interruption. So my son is a wonderful kid, and so he was going to try to step in front of the camera. That's why I kept moving the camera a little bit, and I'm trying to teach him respect and that sort of thing. So he was being really sweet. So anyways, so don't let the one day when I get my land, one day when I get my property, one day when I get my homestead, start practicing your homesteading skills now. Okay? Even if it's just herbs in your kitchen, even if it's a grow section in your apartment because you don't have a balcony, setting up a small little area. You can get those plant stands like at Hobby Lobby, and you can put grow lights on them, and you can grow small herbs. Okay? You can start right where you are. There are no excuses, but we always come up with excuses to keep ourselves from doing things in the now. So if you are desiring to grow, then grow. Get a small stand, get those grow lights, get a little heat mat if you need to germinate the stuff, and just start having fun with it. Start with house plants. That's how I started many years ago. I started growing flowers and house plants and that sort of thing. So just get going. And the great thing, you guys, if you are practicing homesteading skills like myself, right where you are in a rental and you've got a little bit of land, the joy about having things in container pots like I'm doing, like, yeah, I have to water a little bit more, mind you, but because most of the stuff is not in the ground. But the joy about that is I get to know the piece of land that I'm renting, and I get to move things if it's not working in a spot in my yard, because you have different microclimates in your yard. And so the great thing about renting, or not the great thing about renting, but the great thing about having things in container pots while you're renting, or even if you just moved to your homestead and you just got your land, the great thing about having things in container pots is finding that sweet spot on your land, even if you're renting and it's in a container pot. You're going to find out where your plant or where your tree does the best on your property. So by practicing my homesteading skills now with container pots, you guys, when my husband and I do buy our land and we bring our plants with us and I have them in my containers, I'm not going to be sinking them into the ground right away, at least not all of the plants. Some of them I might, but the majority of them I will probably hold off and wait so I can find that sweet spot on the property. And it might be 1 to 2 years before I put some things into the actual ground. So I can get to know the property that we'll end up getting, and I will know exactly where I want to put it. Sometimes you can generally tell right away where things need to go, but sometimes it's good to just wait. And so that's what I have been noticing just with renting, is finding that this area right here is perfect for like a garden with tomatoes and peppers and things. This section right here in my yard in the summertime is the best, sunniest spot, and everything really likes it. And then this edge right here with the neighbor having this shade thing on the fence, privacy stuff, these really love it. Like my herbs love this section of the yard, so they like a little bit of sun, but they love also having a little bit of the shade, and they just thrive right there. So I'm finding that this is the optimal area to garden. Of course, it's right where the septic tank is, and the back corner is all shaded over here by all the big trees. So that section is not very good for it. And then my kids are utilizing this middle section. And we are in Washington. And in Washington, everything kind of goes dry. During the summer, you don't really water a whole lot, because especially if you're on city water, you pay for your water. So the only green spots in my yard are the places that I generally are watering. It's a little green here because I had plants over there, and that's why it's green. But generally speaking, my whole yard and my front yard are this really pretty yellow color. And I actually don't mind it going basically dormant during the summer months. And then in the winter, it turns green again, but it doesn't grow very much. So, and then it'll be nice and green for spring. So as long as we do one main cut right before winter, then it's perfect up until about the end of March, and then we have to start mowing again. But since we are on city water and I have to water my container pots, I don't use all of, I don't water the lawn, because that's money that we have to spend, you know what I'm saying, to water everything. And frankly, my landlord doesn't pay me to water their lawn. So there's that. But everything's looking good. I've got all my cell plants over here all lined up. And then I've got cell plants up in this corner here. So everything's doing good, and I figured it was better to have the plants that are for sale right in this area, easy to access to get so people can look and choose what they want. But oh my goodness, everything is looking so good. And then the trays collect the water to keep the plants alive, because they were starting to look a little bit crispy. So everything's looking really good in the garden, you guys. And I weed eated just this side. My pots are all still dirty from weed eating. I do need to charge my battery up because I still have a couple spots right here and then on the end that I need to do. And then the snake likes to live on the other side of these pots, so I need to shoo him out and then weed eat over on that other side and take care of that, because he really likes tall grass right here, so I need to get that all taken care of. And they also like to live under the black tarp over here, and I need to collect some more stones and pop another stone right there. It kind of holds the tarp down a little bit. The staples were just I was having a hard time getting those in the ground over there because there's so many rocks in the dirt over there, so I just gave up. But anyways, everything's looking really good in the garden. Things are growing. Things are looking amazing. My new elderberries are doing excellent. I got them right here and they're looking really good. I did trim them up already. I took the cuttings from the scraggly parts that I'd showed you guys in the last videos. I cut those off and I put them to root in the greenhouse. And I took cuttings from the blushing maiden also, and I'm rooting some new tea plants in there. And then I'm trying to see if there's anything else. But yeah, everything's looking good. I did get another crandall currant, and this is a black crandall currant. It's not the golden crandall currant. So eventually I would love to get a golden crandall currant as well, a couple of those. But right now I've got 2 of these ones now, and I'm going to be, as soon as winter comes, I'll probably pot these together into the one container pot, because I'm going to wait to do any major repotting until like closer to the winter months with these containers, most likely. I already did my gooseberries because I just needed to get it done. They didn't make fruit this year, and I could have waited until like say fall when they went dormant to do it, but I wanted the roots to grow more because I did trim the roots down a little bit so they could fit into a smaller pot. Hey, you know, my thing is if you are going to a box store and you're buying trees that are bare root and they've cut a lot of the roots off, and if they can do it and your plant come back from that, then you can trim your roots that are in your container pots and to keep things from becoming root bound, so that you don't have to go out and like pot things up into larger and larger pots every single year. So and also think about bonsai people who do people who do bonsai trees and bonsai bushes and that sort of thing. They take every few years, they take the plant out of its container, you guys, and then they comb out the roots, and then they trim the roots, and then they trim it to fit back into the pot, or they pot up to a larger pot if they don't want to trim off that much roots. It just depends on the person and what they're wanting to do with the plant. I've watched these videos, and if they can do it, so can I. Even with my my pots in my containers. So don't be afraid, you guys. As long as you still have a good amount of roots in your containers, your plant's not going to die just from trimming the roots. Is it the best thing for the plant? Maybe not, but maybe it's not so bad either. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Click that bell button. As always, have a wonderful day, and God bless. Bye.